Audio should be coming on. We have audio? Amy? Wait, hold on. Audio seems good. All right. Yep, it is about to. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right. So this session, I had a lot to talk about. So I decided to do homework. I have good news and bad news. If you fall behind, you have the instructions and you can do those same things later at your leisure. I'm going to show you step by step how it's done through the exercises. We'll do a little bit of slides and then an exercise to explain what I'm talking about. And then we're going to start from there. So if you fall behind, don't worry about it. You'll be able to finish it later. I'm always available if you have any questions. Hopefully by now you know who I am. I'm Andres Perez. I go by El Toro IT. You find me on my LinkedIn, everything in there. Today we're going to talk about Headless 360. Okay. Good. So first of all, and before we even start, I want to thank you for being either here or there on YouTube watching this, or if you're watching the recording, thank you. Without you, these sessions would not be possible. I'm not going to stand here in an empty room and talk to myself. That's boring. So thank you for being here. How many of you have heard about Headless 360? Thank you. Thank you. You haven't heard about Headless. You haven't heard about Headless 360. Where have you been? All right. So you guys have heard about Headless 360. I heard a lot. And every time I hear somebody talking about it, I get even more confused. That's why I decided to build this particular session. So what is Headless 360? Major architecture. No, I'm kidding. Of course, I'm not going to do that to you. I can either tell you about it, and a lot of people are really doing that. And if you follow on LinkedIn, you may have seen a lot of funny pictures or whatever talking about Headless 360. Or I could show you what Headless 360 is all about. Which one do you prefer? Good. I'm glad you say that because that's what I'm about to do. So I feel like you guys need to experience it to really understand it. So today we're going to talk about Headless 360 beyond the UI. The way we're going to do that is we're going to take a look at a story of a fictitious company called El Toro IT Inc., of course. So the day in the life of El Toro IT Inc. What is El Toro IT? They do, of course they don't because it's fictitious, but assume for today, for the next an hour and a bit, assume that they do have an app that they provide to their customers to do their to-do, right? So I need to do laundry, I need to do this, I need to do that. That is the app that you guys set up on the homework. Okay. Yes, there was homework. All right. So in this session, we're going to wear many hats. We're going to act as product managers. As a product manager, you're going to assign work to developers. As a developer, we're going to maintain the to-do app. We're going to implement new features. And of course, we're going to fix whatever's broken in the app. And the third is the customers. The customers are those who uses the to-do app. And of course, they create cases and feature requests, right? Typical user stuff, right? So you're going to wear many hats, but hopefully without growing a third hand. Or some funny thing when I was trying to ask AI to draw 3 hats, it also assumed that 3 hats equal 3 heads and 3 hands. I don't know. All right. So far, so good? Clear on the idea? What we're going to do? All right. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about Agentforce Vibes. Okay. So what is Agentforce Vibes? Agentforce Vibes is an agent. How many of you are familiar with Agentforce Vibes? Claude? ChatGPT? No? Get out of my room. All right. So Agentforce Vibes, just like Claude and other ones, are an agent that can help you answer questions, helps you write the code, and executes multi-step workflows. With Agentforce Vibes, you have the ability to say, I want to use Claude Sonnet 4.5 or GPT-5. You can choose which LLM you want to work with. And it will read and write local files like code, JSON, XML, CSV, PDF, anything like that. And also allows you to connect to an external system using MCP servers and CLI tools. When you were doing the homework, you type in the terminal, you type some commands, that's CLI. If the agent needs to talk to a server, it will use MCP. We're going to talk about later about MCP. Now, don't get confused. There is something called Agentforce Vibes. That is an extension that gets installed in VS Code. Okay? Which is not the same thing as Agentforce Vibes IDE. The IDE is what you use in the homework to set up the org, which is basically VS Code inside the browser. So you don't have to bring a computer tonight with VS Code and already set up, because the org has that, which is the Agentforce Vibes IDE. Now, everything that I'm going to talk about today is going to be available in Vibes, of course, but also on any other Headless 360 client like Teams, ChatGPT, Claude, Slack, Gemini, any other one. Or you can build your own apps or websites that have an agent that talk to Salesforce with Headless 360. All right. So this is homework. Hopefully you guys finish it. If not, the instructions are going to be available on the same URL that you guys have, and you will be able to finish them. If you fall behind, I would prefer that you guys just let it go and hear the speech, because I'm going to be here tonight with you, but I won't be there with you at home tomorrow. Well, that will be weird. But you can use the exercise tomorrow at your leisure or any time after that. Okay? All right. So assuming that you guys finished the homework, we're going to talk about, okay, so what should the developers work on? Remember we had 3 hats? Who's asking this question? Product manager, right? Not the developer, not the users, right? The product manager. So how is the product manager going to know in this fictitious scenario with the Apex code and whatever I gave you in that package that you cloned from GitHub? how is the product manager going to know what the developer should be working on? Well, they can do 3 things in order. First thing they will do is they'll query which cases are open and need to be worked on. But there's going to be many. So he needs to be able to determine which ones are the most important ones. That's the second step, which is the analyze. Okay, so we're going to analyze those cases that are open using some business rules. I make these business rules up, so the exercises are geared towards that, but you can apply to anything that makes sense for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to find cases that are similar. How do we know if 2 cases are similar? Easy. Do they have the same words? But that's boring. In the AI world, there's much better way of doing that comparison, and ask the LLM, which of these ones are similar? That's what LLMs are really good for. And in our case, in addition to that, we're going to use have the account breach the SLA. Do we have to give an answer now? Are these at-risk accounts? There's a flag in there. VIP accounts, there's another Boolean field somewhere. Are they up for renewal? There's a date. And similar count, right? So if there's 20 customers asking for the same feature, it makes sense to work on those and like give that task to a developer, and then we can kill 20 birds in one stone. And that's basically what this third step is all about. We're going to consolidate the results. This will create a new master case, and then link the children cases to that new master, and then give us a report. Does that make sense? Notice it's very important. This is going to be the next exercise we're going to do. Notice it's very important that you understand at this point, we're working with data. Okay. So with Headless 360, it's not just for developers. Even users can actually benefit from that. Okay. So we're going to do, if you finish the homework, you can work with me. We're going to do exercise 1. Let me get a chair so I'm comfortable. All right. So let me actually give you the link that you guys got. Actually, give me 1 second. Where is it? Right here. And this here. Okay, so you guys did this exercise 0, which is the homework. You went through all these steps. Right here on the top, where it says exercise, where it says, so what can Headless do? There's all the exercises we're going to do today, 5 of them, hopefully, if we move along quickly. So the first one is, what should a developer work on? We're going to click on that. Now I'm going to move this to here. Oh, I didn't do the homework. I forgot to log into the org. Hold on. That's this guy here. That's this guy right over here. Don't use my phone. All right. And now I can open Vibes. All right, so when we are, I didn't realize this guy was here. Sorry, let me get it out. All right. Exercise 1. Let's do this. Come on. I'm sorry. See, that's what happened when I was also having pizza rather than thinking about what we were going to do in this session. Wow, this is taking a long time. Okay, it's coming alive. All right, so the first thing we need to do, it's Vibes is this little dude here. That's Cody, right? You guys know Cody? That's Agentforce Vibes. All right, so we're going to click on Agentforce Vibes. And it asks if we want to agree to the terms of service. Of course, we never read them, but we always agree to them. And then we click on Enable Agentforce. Okay, now inside Agentforce, let me give you a little tour of how this actually works. On the left-hand side, we have the menus for Salesforce. We have the files, we have search, and of course, we have coding. In here, we have two tabs. We're going to talk about Toolkit later, not yet, but we have the chat. And here's some examples of chats. Now, I did write some prompts that we're going to use tonight to go over that. So remember the three phases that I show you on the slides. The first one is going to be querying for the cases, right? So there is a prompt. It's called prompt number 1 on the exercise. I'm actually on step number 3. So let me actually bring this thing over here if you're following the menu. Exercise 1, step 3, prompt number 1. I want you to copy this prompt over here. Now you could also do the button here, click, same thing. Now what does this say? We're gonna query open cases, retrieving these fields, the case from the case ID, subject, description, status. For the parent account, bring the name, and contact, sorry, the name, and for the account, bring the name, risk level, support, status, renewal date. Remember, that's what we were going to do for the step 2, which was going to be to consolidate. So we need to get that data ready first. So let's copy that. Go back into here. We're going to paste it. Something's wrong here. Shoot. How come it's not pasting? It's pasting for you guys? Did I skip a step? Okay, we need to update, but that's all right. We already updated. Open the Vibes menu. It should look like this. Okay, we accepted the terms. Oh, I don't remember seeing this error. Why is it disabled? Is it something on the org that we have to enable? There was something about that. Shoot. Seriously? There's an error right here. It's something we were going to do later on, not right now. Are you guys able to paste? Do I have internet? Oh, I do have internet because I'm in YouTube. Are you guys able to paste?
Yeah.
Okay, this looks a little bit better now, I think. There you go. I just reloaded. Okay, I just reloaded, and now it's working. All right, so we're gonna query those cases. We just click on the send error, whatever arrow, whatever. It's thinking there's a little bit of a timer here. Pay attention to what it's gonna say because sometimes it's going to ask you, like right here, if you want to run that particular thing, right? So before you click run, oh, I already did. Well, don't worry. You're gonna read what it's asking you to do, right? This is an org, you can trash it, doesn't really matter, so you don't even have to read tonight. But when you're doing it for real, make sure that you read, because some of those things could actually be destroying things. So just run it. If it asks you again, click running it. Always read. Oh, but you say always run. No, always read, then decide. There's gonna be a lot of prompting, but that's fine. Okay, keep running. Okay, we got an answer now. It's telling us there are some cases that were read. Okay, but we haven't consolidated yet. In order to consolidate, we can actually go to the prompt number 2, which is this much longer prompt. Let's just copy that, paste it, run it, and if it asks to run, we're gonna say run. Okay, so now that while it is doing that, let's take a look at what the prompt says. Your Salesforce supports case analyst. Use the results from the previous query, right, the one that we just run, to analyze and find duplicates following special business rules. Okay, there are some guardrails. This is the output that I want. I want you to give me the analysis, the something cases group, how many cases were there, their reason. Okay, and that information in there. We're gonna let it run this for a little bit. Okay, so it's grouping now. Once it finishes, I think I'm gonna have to speed up a little bit. Once it finishes, then the next prompt, it's the consolidation, right? Where we will do exactly the same thing. We read this other, we execute this other prompt using the case analysis results, the one that just came from the prompt number 2. I want you to consolidate the highest priority case group based on these particular rules. Okay, does that make sense? All right. Now we're going to do the hands-on a little bit different tonight. I'm sorry, it's gonna take too long otherwise. I didn't want to give you homework before you came in. I didn't want to give you homework after you left. But I think I'm gonna have to, because otherwise we're gonna be able to cover all we need. All right. So, Amy, get ready. First set of stickers you're gonna give for prize. They're swag. All right. So in that exercise that we just did, I need you to raise your hand before you speak so that Amy is able to come to you and give you your swag. No, they are gonna raise their hands and you're gonna give them swag, right? We promised that there was gonna be. What was that exercise about? What did we do on that exercise? Case analysis.
So find out how many cases are there.
Yep. Did we work with data or metadata? Data. All right, good. He owns he deserves the prize. Oh, we're gonna have to make a list of something. No, we're gonna have to make a list. Amy, do you have a piece of paper and a pen? Yeah, do you have a piece of paper and a pen? Yeah, exactly. Do you have paper?
One thing we forget to bring.
Anybody, a piece of paper and a pen? And get his name down. He's on the top of the list, so he gets the first thing, and then we're gonna pass the picture around the thing account. All right. Right here. No, his name. He's gonna write his name down. Okay, that was an easy one. Get ready for the second swag. What's wrong with that exercise other than we didn't have time? Raise your hand. Okay, right there. A lot of copy paste, and we have to paste exactly the same three prompts every single time. So the product manager is going to have some type of a Google Doc or something that he has these prompts and he copy paste, right? Good. Oh, there was a hint I forgot to tell you. Think about what the product manager is doing this all day long. Very tedious, a lot of copy pasting, and a lot of stopping. Run, run, run. Why the camera is pointing that way? It's because it's pointing at you. Hello, camera. Follow me. All right, we'll move it manually. All right. Camera, are you following me? You following me? Okay, good. All right. All right, that's why. All right, good. No, it's because you walk in front of the camera and the camera thought it was that you were me, but now it's following me. There we go. All right, cool. Can we automate this process? Okay. So how? Okay, good. We need to talk about two things. Everything that we're going to talk about today applies to Agentforce vibes and applies to Claude or Cursor or whatever AI tool for vibe coding you want to use, right? So they may have a slightly different names, files or versions or whatever, but they basically have two different things. They have rules and they have skills. What's a rule? A rule is something that is always on. Anytime the LLM is going to do a task, that is going to be checked and followed. Okay? But that goes into the context. You may have heard about LLM's context. Large context, slow, and a lot of money that is going to cost you. So be careful with what you put in the context. Okay? A good example would be when writing line components, prefer the LWC elements over plain HTML markup and salads over standard CSS. Always follow that. Regardless of what you're going to do for line components, I want you to always follow that. That is a rule. We also have skills. So with the skills are on demand. They are used when they need to be used, right? If your prompt may say, okay, use this skill to do whatever. Sometimes, especially in Claude, they have what is called like slash commands. It teaches them, or the LLM, it teaches the domain language. What's your, if you're coding, what's your coding style? What's your, you want to put files here, files there, okay? And Salesforce has, as part of Headless 360, has a large collection of skills that teach the LLM how to write Apex, line of components, flows, different things in there. So here's an example for that. We have a CI/CD skill that when we invoke it, it's going to run all the local JavaScript tests. Then it's going to deploy to the developer sandbox. I want to run all the Apex scripts. And then if everything passes, it's going to deploy to staging. Okay, that's a skill. This is how we're going to do the deployments. And that is exercise number 2. So let me walk you over that slide. I think we're going to have to, I'm going to have to walk you over. I wish this could be a hands-on, but unfortunately, I'm already running behind, and it's my fault. I really bad at calculating time, and I say each exercise is going to take us 10 minutes. We're already taking 15 for each. So, all right. So what's going to happen here? We're going to go into. I'm just going to walk you through the steps. I think that's what I'm going to do. Because there's a lot of cover. I prefer that we cover all, and rather than get all the exercises completed. So first thing that we do on here, let me see how I can do this. I'm actually going to go to the internal version of this document. The internal version of this document, just because it's kind of easier for me to navigate. It's exercise 2. Okay, so the first thing we would do is, because the previous exercise created a master case, we need to clear all the data so that we can run it again, but now with the skills rather than just different prompts. There are several ways in which you can actually restore the data. Okay, one of them is you can tell Agentforce Vibes, please delete the master cases, and most likely it will do that, but it will consume tokens. It's very easy to actually have a CLI command to run an Apex code to delete those records. So the first option here, let me make this bigger. Is that big enough on the back? Can you read that? No? Is that bigger? Is that bigger? Is that better? Make it bigger? Can... Oh, okay. Well, okay. So we can run the command says run this Apex executor script, and you can indicate which script you want to run. Option 2 is just basically do a CLI command. So Headless 360 came with skills and CLI commands. Actually, CLI commands were already there. And this is an example of what an CLI command looks like. Run this particular file, okay? So what we're, and that's to clear the data. Step 2 is to create a skill. So in order to create the skill, we go through Vibes, and we go into a toolkit. This may be a slightly different. Claude may do it differently. They do. This is how this UI works, but the whole concept of skills still remains. So we're going to click on the toolkit, click on skills, create a new skill, give it a name. And this is what the skill looks like. I want you to run a 3-phase Salesforce case intelligence workflow. First, query all open cases for the current target org, analyze them with the find duplicates and group them. Same thing that we did previously, but now as a product manager, they only have to remember to run this skill. They don't have to remember what the 3 prompts were or store those 3 prompts. You start seeing the difference? Yes? Okay, good, excellent. So we're gonna create that skill. Here is the skill, phase 1, run the query, the description, it's so that AI, when you say, I want you to use the skill to consolidate my cases, it knows which skill it needs to pick and run, right? But the instructions are actually on the content. Okay, so phase 1 is this, I want you to run this query, I want you to analyze the cases, group them, create a master. It's basically the same 3 prompts, but in one single package. Follow me? All right, good, excellent. All right. We reload the window and then we test the skill. How we test the skill? It's we can use this prompt, analyze open cases, find duplicates, and consolidate them. It will try to find all the skills that we have, and based on the description, see which one is the one that we need. Okay, and it may or may not work. But what you can also do is run it as a / command. So the only thing we need to do is type / SF case. It will know. It will give you a list of skills. You choose it, just like in this picture, and then you run it. So the PM product manager doesn't have to remember the name of it. They can just start typing, and it will show the skill that they want to select. Okay, that is exercise number 2. All right, Amy, get ready. Raise your hand. Easy question. Raise your hand. Did I just say that? Raise your hand if you can tell me what happened. Sorry, I got distracted, but here you go. Perfect. Take his name. I'll try to stop the camera right here. Stop. There you go. No, yeah, exactly. Okay, he's right. All right, so 3 independent prompts are now a single automated skill. All right, next question. Amy, are you ready? All right. What's wrong? Think about the data. Okay. What's wrong? What's wrong with that exercise? No error handling. Yes, absolutely. There's not. It may do something that you don't want. So it's up to you to write good skills, good prompts, test it. But no, I'm thinking about something else. We don't need rules because they will always be executed. Think about the data. Think about the data. Okay, let me give you a different idea, different question. Who is running, no, which tool is running those skills? Agentforce Vibes or Claude or something else. Who needs to have access to the data? Which tool needs to have access to the data? Right. So you cannot answer because you cannot go on that list. So Agentforce Vibes. Okay, now I think we are halfway there, probably 80%. Raise your hand if you want to complete the sentence. I'll go here. We need to give Agentforce permission to read the cases, the accounts, and the contacts. That could be too much and it could be a security risk. So we have his name. Yes, please. Sorry. No, the camera is not following you now. Okay, I'm now going to start following. Good. So we have to expose information about that we may not want that information to be exposed so that anybody, any AI prompt can now have access to the same things, right? So we are opening a door which we may not want to open. You follow? You understand the problem? All right. It's a big one. Okay. So Agentforce Vibes, or the user who's running this, they must have CRUD, field level security, and record access on cases, accounts, and contacts in order to consolidate cases. It's too much information that is lost. All right. So this event tonight is organized by 2 amazing ladies, Amy and Varsha. Amy leads the developer. Varsha leads the architect group. How many of you are in the architect group? All right, this is for you. This is what you really need to think about when you're opening the door to expose data. That's really, really important. All right. So another thing, the next topic is model context protocol. How many of you have heard about that? All right. BU, what is it?
Hello, to talk to other system.
That's important. Talk to another system. Beautiful. So basically, it's an integration pattern, no, protocol, integration protocol. I guess the last word gives it up, right? Model context protocol. It's a different protocol. It's a very, 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 very special, it was a really, really good idea and actually revolutionary. Not a lot of people are talking about it that much. I don't know if if I'm seeing something that just fascinates me. But let me give you a walk in the history of APIs for the last 30 years. Let's see how old you are. And I'm looking for some specific people in the room right now. And it counts me. Anybody remember that? Corba, Dicom, yeah? The guy behind, okay, so you're not that old. Good, but the guy behind you is. So if you wanted to communicate to two different systems, you had to do it with something which was called Corba. And one thing that it allowed you to do for remote procedure calls was a connection that was very strict. Anything happening in any of the two sides, it was very fragile, and it did not work with HTTP because it would not go through the firewall ports. Every port was a random port. So it was not port 8443, all that stuff. That was not there yet. That was back in 1990s. Then we came with SOAP. You guys know about SOAP? You better be, because we have a big, well, that was one of the first APIs that we actually supported. Now we can talk about HTTP and therefore Salesforce and all this stuff. So we have SOAP, we have XML, WSDL. It allows to work with firewalls, but it only uses a very small subset of a HTTP, which was only the post method. But XML, they have order. So when you return a list of elements that you wanted to order, you had to make something artificial in that list to be able to understand the order, because XML has no order natively. Then we came with REST and JSON. Then we came out with OpenAPI in gRPC, GraphQL. Okay. Up to this point, something very, very, very important happened. There was a communication protocol or method between client and server that was well defined when you were building the client or building the server. XML, OpenAPI with Swagger, whatever it's called, GraphQL, everything was very, very well defined. REST tried to stay away from the well-defined method of communication, but we had documentation. So still you have to follow some specific rules that were defined by either the client or the server. Okay? And that's the magic of MCP. Magic of MCP is that, and this is where everything changed, the client and the server does not need to know a pre-established communication method. That communication method, what questions I can ask you, what information do I need to send you, what information you're going to give me back, that happens at runtime. Before, everything happened at compile time. If I want a new method, a new data, a new something, I will have to change the code. That's what MCP really allows you to do. Now that you have AI be able to write and understand code, now at runtime, you can have the discovery of the method. And that's basically what MCP is all about. That's the paradigm shift. Another way of looking at the same thing is in the left-hand side or the middle of the column, we have the traditional integrations. On the right, we have the MCP integrations. First question is, who's the primary target? The primary target before, it was either humans, you go to a website, or deterministic systems. You write something in Node, Java, whatever. With the MCP, it is built for agents. Agents that can understand at runtime the protocol. You needed to define the schema statically. Either the client or the server owned the schema, the contract, what data you need to send me, etc. With MCP, neither the client nor the server owns the schema. Okay, that's owned by the MCP protocol. If you wanted to build 5 different clients or maybe talk to 5 different servers, you needed 5 different integrations. With MCP, you just need 1. Okay, all right. So That's what really makes MCP different and special, is that they can be discovered at runtime. And how are they be able to be discovered is because usually, or based on the standard says that the capabilities, what the MCP servers are able to do, can be grouped in 3 different things. Resources, which is basically data, prompts, or tools, things that it can do, right? So if I want to have an Apex class that I can call, that's a tool. If I say, I want you to call this Apex class, that's a prompt. And the Apex class is going to return me accounts with these fields. That's resources. Then how are Salesforce able to create and expose MCP servers to the clients? The Salesforce can create either standard MCPs, or sorry, I'll take it back. Salesforce has, you create your custom, of course, but Salesforce has standard MCP servers. They're already built in. They are fixed tools. Salesforce can change it, but only Salesforce can, you can't. And by default, they are disabled. Or you can create your own custom MCP servers. Okay. You can create capability. You can say, I want this Apex, this flow to be run, this agent to be run, Agentforce agent, to be run when I invoke it. Okay. All right. So this slide is the only slide in the entire deck, entire night presentation, whatever, that is specific to Agentforce vibes. Okay. Everything else we talked about can be used in any other client. So we have the platform. It's how you connect to different MCPs from Vibes. Of course, that's what that slide is about. Different tools have different screens, of course, but this screen is particular to Agentforce Vibes. You can connect to platform. Those are the standard ones or the custom ones. You can connect to remote. You can talk to Google Drive or Weather app or any other MCP server. And you can talk to local files or local CLI commands. All right. So the next exercise, we're really 20 minutes took me to get here. It's how do you automate the MCP servers? Let me walk you through that exercise. Sorry, I told you it was going to be a hands-on session, but okay, exercise 3. So we restart the data. There's an Apex class that we're going to call. In the Apex class, which is in classes, we have analysis. We have this class. Have you guys used Agentforce yet? All right. So you can call an Apex class if the method is annotated with invocable method. All right, good. So a similar idea to this one. We have a invocable method right here. Close this. Which is going to take, it requires an input, and it requires to be a list. I'm just going to put dummy input. I'm going to say whatever word. I need to do that. I'm not going to use it, but I need to do that. But it's going to return a list of cases analyzed. It's going to give me the open cases. It's going to do the query itself. It's then going to analyze the duplicates, and it's going to consolidate the cases. So all 3 things that we started in the first exercise and that we showed on the second exercise, now we're done in the MCP server.
Is the global modifier required?
Yes, it is. To be able to be available for the MCP server. Good. All right. So we have that. Then we go to, I'm going to show you that screen. We're going to go to setup, go to API catalog. Actually, not catalog, MCP servers. Notice all the servers are disabled. You can activate them. All of them right now are the standard ones. And you can create a new server. Gotta give it a name, give it a label, a name, and a description. That's what we do in this exercise. So we, let's see if I can do this. Give it a label, give it a name, and give it a description, which is that slide, that screen that I show you. Click create. That creates the MCP server, but it doesn't have a tool. Okay. So once you have the tool, you can add tools and prompts, right? Doesn't have the resources like the MCP does. I guess that's implied what an account field will have. So you can choose for the tools on the MCP server. You can choose agents, Apex actions, which is what we are the class that I show you, REST, or enable classes. You can do flows. You can do prompts, as in prompt templates. Okay, you add the tool. The tool will give you what's the input, and it will give you what's the output. And then we need to enable it or activate it. It will give you a URL, just like it's shown in here. Notice that the API, the URL is not login.salesforce, not test.salesforce, is not my domain. It is API Salesforce platform, El Toro IT MCP, because that's the name that we gave it. Then we go into a VS Code and we click in Toolkit. We click on MCP servers. We can add MCP servers, skills, or rules. We're going to create a new MCP server, configure with the API that it was, the URL that was given to us. We add a server, and we can activate some of the standard ones. And now, when that is enabled, now we can actually run by using a prompt just like this one. Use the MCP named El Toro IT case analysis, whatever, to consolidate. We could create a skill so that we can run it with a / command. And that's what happens at the end of that particular exercise. Okay, got it? All right, Amy, get ready. Who's going to answer it? Who's going to get some swag? Come on.
What's the question?
What did we do in exercise 3?
We created an MCP server.
We created an MCP server. Why did we want it to create it? Why was it a good idea to create an MCP server?
To enable other clients to connect.
What was the problem with the previous exercise?
Authentication.
What was the problem with the previous exercise? Security. All right, security. I like to remove the spotlight from the person who's trying to answer the question, because it's hard to think when you have the spotlight on. So why do we create an MCP server?
So we can control the way you can access the data.
You don't need to access the data. You just need to get the case number. You don't need to give the agent, Vives, Cloud, whatever, access to your accounts or to some fields in those accounts or contacts or cases. You just need the case number.
And it's also reusable, right? That server can be used for any other cases as well.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so he gets to add his name again. He's got 2 swag. All right. What's wrong with it? Think about the business process. You want to answer it?
I don't know, but think you can have access to everything in Salesforce.
Okay, you can limit the access to it. Okay, let me give you a hint. You have to write Apex class to be able to call it as an MCP server. Okay. Anybody want to take it from there?
If you want to change the business process, you need to change.
Exactly. Now you're locked. Did he get his? Yeah, he can get his name down again or something. I don't know. There's a lot of flag here. Hopefully, I don't know. All right. If the business change, you need to change your Apex class. Now you're locked into that. Now, if it is a repeatable process and that's what it always happens and stuff, maybe it's not a big deal. All right. So what is vibe coding? I think we're going to skip the exercise. We're just going to talk about it. Vibe coding is basically asking AI agent, Vibes, or Claude, or Cursor, or something like that to write the code for you. There's 5 things that you always have to do. Hopefully, you always do. If not, you better start doing them on how to do vibe coding correctly. Okay. 1, you're going to write a prompt asking AI to create a plan for you. I use a lot of vibe coding in my work. I work as a technical architect and building solutions for customers. And I have a tool which is called Claude, which is called Superpowers Brainstorm. Anybody use that one? Amazing. Probably I'll show you that one. It's amazing. It's amazing. And it will help you. Write it down. I should have here. Superpowers is for Claude, not for Vibes. Superpowers Brainstorm. Ping me and I'll give you a link. So that thing will create a plan for you. Before you actually start doing any code, write a plan. Talk to the AI about the plan. Say, no, you should do this. You should not do this. I like this. I don't like this. Then you approve it. Then it will generate the code, and then you can test it. Okay, that's the way that you should do vibe coding. I highly recommend that tool that I did mention. So exercise 4, which we're not doing, it's how to do sorting. Okay, these instructions are going to be there. The YouTube live or YouTube recording is going to be there. I'm sorry about it. I just wanted to tell you everything I can, and there's not a lot of time. All right. So what happened on this is that we accepted the code that it gave us. We did vibe coding to fix the problem. The consolation of the cases that we had done on the previous exercises was that the table was not sortable. That's what a lot of our customers wanted to do. So we vibe coded that solution. The problem with that is that if you sort high, medium, and low alphabetically, low goes in between of high and medium, right? So we didn't argue with the AI saying, no, that plan that you're writing doesn't really work because then blah, 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 right? So that's the other part that I wanted to show you there. Okay, status works, fortunately, because completed in progress and not CIN, that's alphabetically sorted, but HML is not. All right. And I knew I was going to run out of time, so you can also call from Vibes Agentforce. We're going to talk about that. But what I do want to do is now that you have all this knowledge, MCP, skills, rules, vibe coding, all. So what is Headless 360? And as Parker Harris says, you should. Why should you ever log into Salesforce again? Maybe you never will. Right? You saw how the product manager doesn't have to go to Salesforce. From a code tool, Cursor, Vibes, they can also actually work with the cases. The developer, well, they always work in Vibes, but not in Vibes, in IDE, VS Code or whatever. But as a product manager, he doesn't really have to go there. Okay. So for the last 25 years, if you wanted to use Salesforce, you had to log into Salesforce. Not anymore. Because now we have agents working alongside as humans or with humans. The PM now has a companion that he can get help from. Okay, so the agents are helping us write code, vibe coding, but also are the ones using the code. All right. So now Headless 360. I don't know if you guys saw the first, or maybe even in the invitation or LinkedIn, Astro without a head. That's not really what Headless 360 means, by the way. It means that Astro could wear any different head. Could be a browser inside Salesforce, could be Vibe server-side, could be Claude. Okay, so it decouples that. So the business logic and security is not tied to the UI anymore. Any UI can do that. Like Teams, the product manager could use Teams to do exactly what we did today, or ChatGPT, or Claude, or Slack, or any other tool, because we can, as long as we can use MCPs, APIs, or CLIs, we will be able to use our Headless 360. And now, as a developer, we can build an UI very, very quickly. Notice we didn't have to build a Lightning Web component to let the product manager manage the cases, right? That's free. I mean, building the UI is free. All right. So with a Headless, Salesforce gave us a whole bunch of MCP tools. Now you understand why MCP is really important and what makes it different and what is the value of it. And CLIs. We've always had CLIs and APIs. The other thing that Salesforce did, if you read between the lines, is that everything that you can do, you could do it through a prompt, and you saw that through the exercises, hopefully. When you do them again, because you will, you see that the same thing can be done in different angles, right? We can do prompt, we can do the MCP, we can do the CLI. So the same thing can be done differently, which means that you're not locked into a single tool. And if things change, because of course they will, as they have always changed, and you go back to that slide from the 1990s, we have 6 different ways, or was it 8 different ways of talking to servers, right? You're not locked against, you're not locked with a single tool. There's another thing that is coming. I don't think it's here yet. It's called a Headless Experience Layer, which will allow you to very, very easily build custom UI and then you build it once, and the same custom UI will run on Teams, Slack, Claude, all the ones that I show you in that little picture. You build it once, and all of them will run. As long as they can run MCP tools, which that's part of the standard, they will be able to do that. And you're going to write that in JSON. I don't know if you guys have, I kind of seen it a little bit. Have you guys worked in Slack on building, I think it's workflows or something that you build it on Slack? No, but you actually build in JSON the UI of your, that's kind of the similar idea, but it will be run not only in Slack, the same JSON will run on all the different tools as well. Lightning Types 2.0. It's this guy. It's better. Okay. Okay. So another question that I wanted to discuss with you tonight was something that we've heard a lot on the web, and it's Salesforce is dead. Okay, and then we have to start looking for jobs. I don't really agree with that. A lot of people do. A lot of people are scaring us out. I don't think that's true for a couple of things. Headless and vibe coding, that can replace the UI and simplify the UI. But all the data, all the business logic, all the triggers, all the flows, all the validations, all that's still a very, very important part. And that exists yet. The only thing we're changing is a little bit of the UI interface. Too expensive for any company to build something similar to a Salesforce. I've heard of a few very, very successful, few tiny companies with only 5 users who can do it. Yes, but enterprise level, no. All right. Because both agents and humans have exactly the same needs of security, of governance, right? So all that layer, headless, but the same body, right? All the things that go in the body, you can change the head, and that's going to be easy, and that's going to be good. But all right, so you need the same field level security and stuff. So I saw this analogy. I don't know if it's been in the public yet. I think I saw it somewhere internally. It's a really good analogy of Headless 360. They compare that with a bank, like that one. Okay, you got your money. It's secure. You walk to the lady in the bank's branch office and you say, "Give me my money." She will give you your money. Anybody else walks and asks for somebody else's money, they will not give it. If they do, let me know and I will go to your okay. But you have to walk to the branch. With Headless 360, things changes quite a bit. The same security, the same governance, the same rules, the same accounting system or whatever they use for banking system, I guess I should say. But now you can use it for an ATM, a phone, Apple Pay. You go to a teller, of course, like you've always had. Different apps like Venmo, PayPal, whatever. They change the head, but the body still remains. And the security of having my money in a bank is still there, but with a different UI. Is what I'm trying to get? Okay. So the bank did not abandon their governance, their security, their rules. It just gave you different ways to access that. And that's what Headless 360 does for you. All right. With that, I have 2 news. First one is finally we're done. I'm sorry. I think Varsha, Amy, next time we'll do this a full day because this is really, really long session. There's a survey. If you like or didn't like, or you hated me because I didn't let you do the exercises or something, please scan that and let us know what you think. There's also, if you finish the survey, which is anonymous, so we will never know, you'll get some swag. Thank you so much. I'll open the floor for Q&A. That's me, my link. And if you want to donate to my cause, which I help feed poor children, my kids. No, that's my, anyway. All right, so good news, we're done. Do the survey. Do the quiz, the survey, sorry. Put the survey back. Yay, woo! No more Slack. Can I donate it back, she asked. Well, you have a golden hoodie. There's too much swag that you can have. I want that swag.
I'm not seeing any questions at all from the virtual audience.
Have you been monitoring it?
Yes.
Okay, good. Excellent.
Someone said we can never hate you, Andres.
Oh, good. Thank you.
How many are online? That's a good question. 23 people are online.
Woo! 23.
No one online is curious about anything? Can you even hear me?
Anybody? No, they can hear me. Any questions from the chat? Write it down. This is the time to ask. They can also do a survey, right? They don't get swag.
Oh, I'm hitting me cats.
Give me a thumbs up from the YouTube if you like this session. Or from the room. Yes? Good. Thank you. Everybody else is busy trying to get Amy's swag.
Anyone in the room's finished? Oh, finished it? Okay, very good. Yeah. Wait, actually, I should verify. Can you hold this up? Okay.
He's done.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know your name, but you're already on the list. Yeah. Okay. I'll put times 3.
Times 3.
Bijou.
What's
Bijou, B-I-J-O.
I know Bijou from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
He attended one of my trainings 10 years ago. And he still keeps coming back.
I don't know why I started writing in capital letters. Half capital letter, half.
Amy,
Okay,
I need to go to the book.
we need to what?
Go to the book.
Bottom of the list.
Bottom of the list because he's going to take some time.
I won't tell anyone.
Okay. We're ready.
We got 2 thumbs up.
Yay, thank you.
Sorry. Yay. And submissions as well. So,
All right, guys from YouTube. See you next time.